What's up, guys? It's Chris with YourTube Team, and we have
Paulo with YourTube Team.
In today's video, we're going to talk about number one, YourTube Team, and some cutting edge things that we've noticed that are working on YouTube for real estate, specifically in 2025. I know we literally just got into 2025. And on top of that, we're actually going to dive into the background of Paulo and me, how we even got to YouTube and real estate in the first place, because it's actually not what we started out doing initially. Let's crack into it. So, Paulo, a lot of people ask, how do we know each other and how did we actually meet?
Yeah, so it's a great question. So we've actually known each other well over a decade at this point, and we had friends of friends that knew each other, went to the same middle school, went to the same high school. We grew up in the Bay Area and spent our entire life there, and we decided to move to Los Angeles with our friend Josh, and ended up living there for about 4 years. We moved from Los Angeles to Las Vegas, bought a property in Las Vegas. We traveled about over 10 countries. So we traveled to over 10 countries, spent a month in each of them, from Italy, Bangkok, Bali, Cape Town recently. We went to Cape Town last year. But yeah, for the most part, Chris is like a brother to me. Known each other a super long time, and now we run this business. But yeah, so we're just going to talk about how we actually started this business, YourTube Team. Chris, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, also I'll just add, so for those of you who ask why we have California numbers, it's because we actually grew up in the Bay Area. We actually even went to the same high school together. But as far as the business goes, actually there is a story before the story. So when Paulo and I were actually in LA, Paulo worked in...
Yeah, I worked in private money financing in my early 20s. I've been in the industry for quite a while now. First ended up doing hard money financing. When we first moved to LA, we were actually doing DoorDash because we didn't have any jobs. We didn't really know what to do. We actually sold our blood plasma at one point. We'll get to that some other video. But for the most part, when we first got to LA, didn't really have much money. We were coming up, and yeah, worked DoorDash for a while, and I ended up finding a gig. Ended up working multiple jobs in LA, but I ended up working for a hard money firm where I did hard money financing, and there I got my real estate license and I got my mortgage license, and yeah, I did that for a few years before moving. Chris actually worked in Beverly Hills. You want to talk about your job experience when you're in Beverly Hills?
Yeah, so actually when Paulo was doing private money, I was actually working in property management. So I actually worked for a property management company, like Paulo mentioned, and we managed properties all over Los Angeles, from Beverly Hills to Malibu to the Valley, Santa Monica, literally all over. So this was a really cool job because I would often go to either HOA meetings or inspect properties all over Los Angeles, and I got to see a wide range of places that people live, right? From very humble places to multi-million-dollar celebrities live here places, and I really got to see it all. So it was really cool. And also what was very interesting about working in property management was I would actually meet a lot of real estate professionals through property management. For some reason, a lot of real estate professionals, I worked in a property management company that worked with a lot of HOA communities. And I noticed a lot of these real estate professionals loved being on the board of these HOA communities. So I'd speak to a lot of them about things going on in their property. Makes sense. People who are in real estate care about the real estate that they are in. Therefore, they want to be on the board to make sure that their investment gets taken care of. Makes a lot of sense. So that is actually how I met a lot of real estate professionals and learned just a lot about real estate. So,
great. You want to talk about how we left LA, moved to Las Vegas, and our journey there?
Yeah, so guys, it actually comes pretty full circle. So because Paulo had his real estate and mortgage background, and I worked in property management and had spoken to a lot of real estate professionals, basically what happened, not to condense something too much, but basically in 2020, Paulo and I did pretty good. We invested, I'll just straight up say, in Tesla, which did very well. Paulo did very well at work. I also did pretty good at work. On top of that, we tried a bunch of business ventures, but something definitely hit in 2020, which enabled us to eventually quit our jobs in 2021 and go all in on a business. Paulo has always had the entrepreneurial bug, as so do I. And we thought, you know what? We're young. We did pretty good in 2020. We have enough cash to live for probably like 5-10 years or 5 to 7 years if we really want to. Let's go ahead and start a business. And so in 2021, we moved to Las Vegas. We bought a home, and which is now an actual, technically like rental property-ish. And yeah, in that home, we decided to start our first official business. And Paulo, do you want to talk about what that was?
Yeah, so our first business, we looked at many different things. We had a big whiteboard in our office and kind of did a tournament bracket. And we realized that YouTube, we really like YouTube. So we actually ended up starting a YouTube channel. It's called Wealth Gambit. You could still search it up to this day. I haven't posted in it in a while, but yeah, we created a faceless personal finance channel, Wealth Gambit, that we took from 0 subscribers all the way upwards to 4,000 subscribers and 500,000 views in about a year's time. And we realized that AdSense wasn't really paying out too much. We realized that we needed to pivot. Funny enough, before we started the business, we actually started traveling the world. So went to Italy, then went to Bangkok and Bali is actually where we started the business. And we started working with one of our clients, Dylan Nonaka, who's still with us to this day. He actually has the #1 sales team in the entire state of Hawaii. In 2023, he closed over 600 transactions, has a team of over 100. And yeah, when we first started working with him about May of 2022, we were working on his YouTube channel, and we realized, you know what, let's try to, we already know YouTube. We should try to pivot into something where we can help our clients, like we can gather clients and help them get more money. Yeah, so we started a personal finance channel called Wealth Gambit, took it to 4,000 subscribers, 500,000 views, and we were getting paid strictly from AdSense and also Patreon. But we decided to pivot, and did you want to talk about the pivot a little bit?
Yeah, so basically what happened was with the Wealth Gambit YouTube channel, it was very, very fun. In fact, we actually started even a Facebook community that essentially talked about the stocks that we really enjoyed. And through that, we even had the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company, that one of the companies that we covered a lot on that channel actually followed us back on Twitter, which was really, really cool. The company to date, if you see the channel, you'll easily know which company it is, but that company is worth like $8 billion, and he followed us on Twitter, and even some of his executive team started liking our page on Facebook, which was really, really cool. But that being said, obviously that passion project, we did it for about a year, and we didn't really have a monetization strategy with it, and we had actually built out quite the team to produce that much content, and we realized that this business probably was not going to cash flow, right? At that point, I believe Paul and I had personally spent around $30,000 and we got back 5, maybe 6. So we probably lost around $25,000-ish. And we thought, you know what? We should probably try to make money in business. So we thought, we have a skill set on essentially growing YouTube channels. We don't really want to sell a course on our finance channel, and we didn't really have anything else to sell. Our only actual monetization strategy was AdSense, and we didn't really want to do anything else. So we ultimately decided to pivot, and it all comes full circle. When we were brainstorming what should we pivot into, we wanted to take our existing YouTube skill set and adapt it, and we thought about who could we help on YouTube essentially. And obviously Paulo had a real estate background. He had his real estate and mortgage license. I had worked with a lot of real estate professionals in the past. And we realized that real estate professionals, if we help them even sell one thing through their YouTube channel, it will more than our service, or helping real estate professionals would more than pay for itself. And so essentially we went on to test that theory. And in essentially May of 2022, Paulo and I in Bali, funny enough, in 2022, we basically spent the entire year traveling the world and working on that business, and we eventually pivoted into working with real estate professionals. Reached out to a bunch of people who had YouTube channels, specifically real estate professionals. We even tried other people in other niches, but we really focused on real estate professionals, and we actually landed our first client, Dylan. So shout out to Dylan if you're watching this. Dylan is actually still with us today, at least at the time of filming this. Dylan is amazing. And yeah, Paulo and I basically took our theory and took our knowledge and put it to the test. Can we actually help real estate professionals get more views and ultimately more business through YouTube? And on Dylan's channel, I can say we actually knocked it completely out of the park. So on Dylan's channel, all we did was let's not even touch Dylan's content. Let's just package the videos in a more YouTube way and see if we can get more views, right? Dylan was very well positioned as an expert. His videos were just not packaged as well as they could be on YouTube to get the most amount of views. And so Paulo and I and our team literally went in there and we did not touch content at all. We simply did the thumbnails, titles, SEO, and obviously the other stuff like titles or tags rather. And just by doing that, we were able to 3 to 5x Dylan's views organically without even touching the content, without even recommending topics. And so after doing that, we basically stayed focused on Dylan's channel, and around 4 to 6 months later, we thought, you know what? We've actually proven this concept. Let's try to expand this. And do you want to take over from here, Paulo?
Yeah. So once we had a proof of concept, we worked with Dylan for about 6 to 7 months before we landed our second client. And eventually we just started producing results for our clients. And the method of acquisition for these clients were cold calling. So we cold called many people. I mean, probably over 1,000 people at this point. All we were doing was just cold calling and ended up doing pretty decent. Ended up landing a ton of clients. Right now, we work with dozens of top producing agents all over the country. I won't get into the amount of clients. So we'll just say it's over 50 and less than 200. But yeah, we work with a ton of clients all over the U.S. And yeah, that's all we do. We essentially just help them generate more business through their YouTube channel. And we've helped them generate millions of dollars in GCI attributable through their YouTube channel. So we do this by giving you topics that we've seen do well across many different markets. So for example, if we see one thing do well in one market, then we pass it along to everybody else. So if we learn one new thing, then we pass it on to everybody. You know, we've taken many YouTube for real estate courses at this point, like thousands upon thousands of dollars of YouTube for real estate courses. And what we do is we watch it, we learn, we A/B test that with our own data. At this point, we've done over 2,000 videos. So for the most part, we just see what works. You know, internally, we have meetings where we just go over hooks, where we just go over marketing, where we just go over media. So we're pretty ahead of the curve when it comes to YouTube for real estate, but we realize, but we acknowledge that we're still growing at the end of the day. So yeah, we're constantly growing, constantly still figuring out what are the best practices for YouTube for real estate, because you know, if a real estate agent tries to do this themselves, it takes a long time. It could take up to like 10 hours a week trying to figure out YouTube. And the average agent, from what we've seen, takes about 8 to 12 months to start generating their first leads through their YouTube channel. So yeah, right now we work with many agents all over the country. You can see our website, you know, testimonials. You want to talk a little bit more about our clients?
Yeah, so we, like Paulo mentioned, we have dozens upon dozens upon dozens of clients all over the US, and we only do YouTube and we only do it for real estate. Actually, I will add a correction. We do have 1 or 2 mortgage clients who came as a referral. But yeah, for the most part, we just help our clients get more leads, actually ultimately more business through YouTube, right? And like Paulo mentioned, if any of you are in any YouTube for real estate Facebook groups and you look up how long did it take you to get your first leads, the average is around 8 months. And our average client gets their first lead in 2 to 3 months. And now, believe it or not, it's actually going down towards the first month. In fact, a lot of our clients are actually setting their first appointments within the first month, which, as YouTube for real estate goes, is kind of insane. I didn't actually think that we would get to this point, and literally cutting it by like 8. So we've drastically cut down the learning curve. In fact, there is really no learning curve. Our clients simply need to film and then give us the videos, and we do everything for them. But yeah, Paulo, do you want to talk about what do you think some of the biggest mistakes are that real estate professionals make on YouTube in your experience from talking to so many of them?
I think one of the biggest mistakes is not filming. It's pretty obvious, but the clients that film and the clients that don't film, there's a huge difference in results. Typically, we see at least 1 video a week tends to, you know, help generate leads, and that's long form content. So short form actually will not get you anything really. Short form videos like short YouTube shorts, it's kind of a vanity metric. You'll get a ton of views. You'll even probably get subscribers. But from what we've seen after doing like thousands of videos at this point, shorts don't really work very well. But one thing I will say, try to keep the video between 8 to 15 minutes. If you do want to do longer, then it definitely does help because your average view duration will definitely go up the longer the video is. But from what we've seen and all the clients that we work with, not all of our real estate clients have time throughout the week to go out and spend 30 minutes on one video. So what I try to say is just try to get your momentum up right away. So, just try to do your best to film, utilize ChatGPT for the scripts. Most important, or at least 80% of the script, 70 to 80% of the script. You don't want it to just sound like a robot. The best is actually just writing the script yourself because it's very high leveraged. But for the most part, long form content once a week. Try to keep it between 8 to 15 minutes in the beginning and just look at what your competition's doing. If you type in your service area, so for example, we're in Florida, right? So if you type in like Jacksonville, Florida real estate, then just see what comes up and then see what your competitors are doing, maybe sort by most popular, see what's working out for them, and maybe try to implement it yourselves. Did you want to bring up a few other tips?
Yeah, so I'll actually add a couple things. So the first one actually is, I think the biggest mistake that I see real estate professionals make, or probably the second biggest, is just trying to be a perfectionist. In the history of the company, that's probably been one of the biggest things when clients want the video to be perfect and then they, as a result, keep pushing back the upload date and the video either never goes live or by the time it goes live, they've essentially tried to be a perfectionist off like arbitrary specifications that they have in their brain of what a good YouTube video will be. And that's actually not what a good YouTube video for real estate lead generation is. And the video ends up flopping completely. So my main thing is clients who have this vision in their brain of what they want it to look like, who don't have the YouTube experience for lead generation to back it up, because they end up taking the video to this place that no one even asked for, right? And then it ends up not generating leads, even though it took them 10 times the more effort than our average client. So I'd say trying to be a perfectionist is probably one of the biggest things, specifically if you're a beginner and have no YouTube experience. If you've generated hundreds and hundreds of leads and closed maybe hundreds of deals from YouTube, then go ahead. But yeah, that's something I've noticed.
Yeah, another thing I've noticed is not having their contact information. So there's some agents out there that don't have their name, number, and email in the description. So I'd throw the name, number, email in the description. I'd also throw it in the comment section. I'd pin it as a comment just so people can see it. If not your contact information, I would pin at least a link to some type of lead magnet. So a lead magnet is something that captures leads. It's exactly what it sounds like. And it's actually something that we would do for you. Like I'd mentioned, we actually took a course by Karen Carr, taken all these courses, but one of the courses we took, it talked about having a lead magnet and a landing page. So we tried it out and it ended up working very well for our clients. Some of our clients average typically around 100 to 150 leads every year from this lead magnet. So not only are people calling, texting, emailing you directly, they're opting in for this guide, whether it be a relocation guide, first-time home buyer guide, a seller's guide. So I would have proper call to actions in place and maybe pin a lead magnet, pin a link to a lead magnet. Any other tips that you've seen?
Yeah, so I'm actually going to give a very, very deep tip that I think no one will actually talk about because it's just so meta, if you will. And one of the tips that I'm going to talk about is actually that tags are making a comeback. So this is a very, very weird tip because essentially, for those of you who are new to YouTube, around 5 years ago-ish, one of the biggest things that you could do, these tools like TubeBuddy, specifically even vidIQ, one of their whole main value propositions was helping you with tags and of course other keywords. And back in the day, 5, 6, maybe even 7 years ago, tags could literally make a video, right? If you just had the right tags, you could get a video to basically do very, very well. And essentially 3-ish years ago, tags essentially basically went to almost zero, where you could literally see this on YouTube, where basically tags essentially are just for misspelled words, right? So people are trying to find a video, but they misspell stuff, right? And it literally says that in the YouTube description when you check it out, right next to above the tags. What we've noticed recently specifically in the last 3 to 4, maybe 5 months, is that tags have actually been making a comeback. Where having the right tags can actually help your video significantly. I'd say around 10 to 30% have effect on your video just by having proper tags. So I think this is a very, very unique thing because tags have essentially come from here all the way basically to 0, and now we're coming back like around here. So it's a really weird thing that literally we would not have noticed this if we weren't split testing basically every part of the YouTube process internally and seeing if it actually works. And yeah, it actually does work. So one of the tips that I will give for a 2025 specific tip is keep your eye out on tags, right? I've noticed that over time, YouTube descriptions have been getting less and less, but tags seem to be making a little bit of a comeback, so it could be worth keeping an eye out for.
Yeah. One tip I have is, when you're creating your video and you're making your script and you feel nervous on camera, I would just call a friend, call your best friend, call your mom, call your dad, somebody that makes you feel good. But yeah, honestly, just you wanna let loose and have fun while you film. Pretend like you're talking to your best friend. For example, if you're doing like a topic like 3 best neighborhoods to live in your area, then pretend like your best friend called you and is like, hey, what is it like to live in the 3 best neighborhoods of X city? And just pretend like you're talking to a friend, right? YouTube is all about you. It's all about your personality. It's how you convey yourself. It's the little quirks about you. You don't want to sound like a robot. That's why when you do the ChatGPT for scripts, you don't want to make it the entire script. Like I said, maybe 70, 80% of it. The rest, add some personal stories. For example, if you're relocating to a specific city, or if you're creating a video on relocating to a specific city, then you should add a story of how you helped a family relocate to a specific city.
Thanks, Paulo. I'm going to ask another question. Where do you see YouTube for real estate going in the future, or even just YourTube Team, the company, going in the future?
Yeah, that's a really great question. As far as YouTube for real estate, I feel like YouTube is owned by Google, and Google is the largest search engine in the world. So YouTube, I feel like, will always be around. And real estate agents, everybody needs a house at one point. Or not everyone, but you know what I'm talking about. People always need real estate agents to represent them when buying or selling a home. Unless they're homeless. Yeah, for the most part, I see it only going up from here. I think YouTube is one of the best lead generation sources because one, it's video and people get to know, like, and trust the video version of you. And you can create evergreen content. Like some of our clients, the videos that they made years ago, like 2 years ago, are still getting views and most importantly, still getting leads till this day. So assuming that your video is done properly, you could get leads for years if done properly. So I see it going up from here. They say, what's the best time to start a YouTube channel? Probably like 4 years ago. But the second best time is now. If you don't already have a YouTube channel, then I feel like you're getting left behind because a lot of people were just starting to figure out YouTube and its capability to start generating leads. YouTube, very, very powerful. Like I mentioned earlier, we've helped our clients close millions of dollars in GCI directly attributable from their YouTube channels. So where do you see the future of YouTube for real estate?
So this is actually a very, very interesting question to me because in 2024, for those of you who don't know, Paulo and I literally spoke to hundreds, maybe even over 1,000 agents in just 2024 alone. And there's one thing that I quickly realized is that the agents who weren't leveraging YouTube or even social media in general all basically said the same thing. They'd say, I've been in real estate for 25 years, and this is the slowest year it's ever been for me. That's literally almost all of the agents that were not leveraging YouTube and other social medias as well. All said the same thing, that 2024 was one of the slowest years of real estate in their entire careers, which was very weird for me to hear because when I would talk to our clients, shameless plug, all of our clients were saying, this is the best year in business I've ever had, literally per their own words.
Most importantly, this has been the best year in business I have. Roughly 60% of my business comes through YouTube.
Here, I'm one of the top agents in our entire team. I have 17 deals, the most deals I've had in an entire year at this point during the year.
Which you can see our testimonials and you can hear them actually say that. I literally spoke to one of our clients in South Carolina yesterday and I said, so how do you end off 2024? And he just casually said, it was the best year of business I ever had. So Where do I think the future of YouTube and real estate is going? I think that more and more agents are going to have to get on either YouTube or some type of platform. But in my opinion, YouTube is actually probably the best platform because it's a search engine and your content can last months, even years, even half a decade, right? You even see YouTube videos that are over 10 years old that still get views, right? Whereas on these other platforms, you essentially have to stay on the treadmill of punching out content because after 1 month, maybe even 2 or 3, the video is basically dead, right? With these other content platforms, like specifically like TikTok, and also even think about TikTok. TikTok might just get banned in general. I know they just unbanned it, but these other shorter platforms, you really have to stay on that treadmill, which is good for those of you who like treadmills. For those of you who do not, then if you want your content to really last, I think YouTube is the only place where you can really get a video to last for multiple years. If you have a different idea of a better platform, comment down below. Actually, would love to hear and see other options. So yeah, in the future, I think that you're gonna see more and more agents leveraging social platforms or search engines rather. And the ones that don't, I hate to say it, but from what I've heard from them, to literally speaking to them, it seems like they're getting left behind, right? Because when you're not leveraging these social platforms, you're essentially at the whim of the market. If the market slows down, your business drastically slows down because you're essentially working on a lot of sphere of influence, right? And when a lot less people are buying in general because they don't want to, they don't necessarily have to, then your business slows down. Whereas with YouTube, you can literally target people who are doing the fundamentals, which is number one, maybe they have to move for work, for like other things like literally work, military, etc., or they just because they want to, and you can bring in these people who are deciding to make that move or even sell a home at this point in time. So I think that in the future, you really need to leverage some type of platform. And I think YouTube, maybe I'm biased, is the best one. So that's my guess as to what will happen in the future.
It's a great answer. As far as the future of YourTube Team, we're definitely, at least this year in 2025 and moving forward, we're going to focus more on brand because as you may know, we don't post that much because we're very, very busy with our business. We have a ton of clients that we're managing, ton of employees, have many, many tenants. So yeah, we keep ourselves very, very busy. That's why I wouldn't really post too much content. But I think this year we're gonna go heavy on the content. We have some stuff on our Instagram, little bit of stuff on our YouTube. We just stopped posting altogether. So I think the future of YourTube Team, at least this year, we're gonna be working a lot more on brand, maybe showing you more of the, our client wins and getting more client testimonials and overall just providing a ton of value and generating more business for our clients. So every year we're getting better and better. Like I said, we specialize just on YouTube for real estate. We don't work with any other niches. We don't do any other platforms. It's just YouTube for real estate. So what we do, it's very specialized. And yeah, where do you see the future of YourTube Team?
I definitely see us growing by a lot. I think the stars have definitely been aligning for us and a lot of things have been working in our favor that have been surprising. And also just from a company and results standpoint, like we've been giving our clients, we've been producing the best results that we've ever produced in the history of the company in the last 3 to 6 months, which is actually crazy. Like I mentioned before, our average client was getting their first leads in month 3, then that went down to month 2, and now it's looking like a lot of our clients are setting their first appointments within month 1. And the first 2 weeks, they don't even give us content to edit a lot of times. So yeah, we're just absolutely crushing it for our clients. We're really learning what's working, what is not, and yeah, definitely doubling down on what it is. So I could definitely see YourTube Team growing massively with the real estate community. And yeah, who knows, maybe even we speak on a stage at one point, you never know. All right, and any final words?
Yeah, just want to shout out the amazing team we have at Wealth Gambit or YourTube Team, also known as YourTube Team. Funny enough, we changed it because we were Wealth Gambit and people were like, what the hell is Wealth Gambit? And we're like, shit, we should probably change it to something that people will understand more. So we changed our company name to YourTube Team. But the OGs know that, we go by WG. But yeah, last thing, I just want to shout out our team. We have a phenomenal team, amazing, amazing people. We're actually going to go see them next week. We see our team every single year, go out to the Philippines. And yeah, funny enough, another tip is we've had them read a book a month for 3 years. So us, up until this year, we actually read a book every single week for many, many years. And it got pretty busy, but we still have been doing the book of the month tradition with our entire team, everybody in the company. for about 3 years at this point. So yeah, I just want to say really shout out to our team. You guys know who you are. You guys are amazing, and we'll see you soon. And anything else?
I want to give a shout out to, well, Paulo already got our team, so I'll shout out our clients, our amazing clients, a lot of which have been with us for literally years, so many years now, like even Dylan, especially Dylan, who's been with us literally since day one. Yeah, our clients are amazing, and you know, it's really cool working with people that are cool. You know, it makes you want to show up to work, and it makes you want to do a really good job when you work with people who are cool. A very cool relationship with our clients, because essentially they share stuff with us, we share stuff with them, and you know, it's very, you know, it's cool to see us all growing, especially as the years progress. They of course get to see our business grow. We went from one client to where we are now, and we got to see a lot of their businesses grow, from, you know, maybe they're just starting out to now even, you know, for example, Dylan, #1 sales team in the entire state, which is amazing. And a lot of our clients went from, like, you know, kind of in the middle of their teams to top of their teams and winning all these cool types of awards. So yeah, shout out to our clients.
Yeah, guys, you know, that's a little background on us, a few tips for YouTube for real estate in 2025. You know, feel free to book a call with us if you are a real estate agent looking to generate more business for your YouTube channel. Like we had mentioned, we work with dozens upon dozens of top producing agents all over the country. You could check out our website. We have a lot of testimonials. Everything you'll know is on that website. Yeah, you could click the link below and book a call directly with me. And overall, just be trying to provide you value and going over a strategy that can help you generate more business through your YouTube channel.
Yep. And final words for me is make sure to like and subscribe, guys, and comment down below what you would like to see on this channel. We already have a bunch of topics that we would like to cover, but of course, if you have any recommendations and we end up using your topic, we will shout you out in the next video. So comment, like, subscribe for more videos on YouTube for real estate and the secrets that you will, I guarantee you will not hear anywhere else. So until next time, peace.